Greetings, everyone. This is Cassandra Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates. And I am the founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. So I know that I'm very early. I'm about 45 minutes early, but I started a new job, a new second job. And so today I have to start a little early because I work, I have to leave at 5 o'clock. Um, and I had already scheduled this live yesterday. So StreamYard makes it very difficult for me to change the time to edit the time once I've set the event. So I figured I would get on here a few minutes early, read for about 30 minutes. Greetings, Carlotta. So I'm gonna read for about 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes, so I can leave in time for work. I have to leave out of here by 5. So so that's why I'm reading early. Most of you will just have to come back. Greetings, Asia. Look at y'all all jolly on the spot. Most of y'all are going to probably have to come back and catch this later on or whatever. And then what I'm probably going to end up having to do, I'm just forewarning you, is with me um, trying to work more. Greetings, Whimsical Moon Fairy. I ain't seen you in a minute. Um, what I'm going to have to do is probably take the time through the day to do the read, or at night to do the read, and then just post it to broadcast live at 5. I will be facilitating the book club this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live. That will be that Zoom. Most of you have gotten the Zoom link for the first book club Zoom live that we're going to do this Wednesday. The only way you will be able to see this Zoom is, in real time, is to have the Zoom link. So if you're interested in participating in the Zoom book club for Pure Lust, which we're reading currently, then make sure to email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Releaseheartcenter@gmail.com, so that I can email you the Zoom link for Wednesday's book club. That will be via Zoom only. I will post it as a video on YouTube after the fact. But if you want to catch it and be a part of it in real time, then email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com so I can send you the link today. I know. I still have not sent anyone the link yet for the Zoom meeting that I'm trying to facilitate tomorrow night, because I still have yet to finish this proposal. It might be very skeletal, and then we use the meeting to put meat on it. You understand? But it's kicking my ass, and it does not help that I've started a new job on top of it, and that I'm preparing for my grandkids to come be with me for a week and a half, like next week, like Monday. So anyway, so all of that. So just bear with me. I'm not gonna put it off too long. We're still gonna do the meeting at 2. I'll be prepared tonight to send out the email with the initial proposal, as well as the link, the Zoom link for the meeting tomorrow, to build the committee to do the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence kickoff event. And I'm talking about kicking off this new radical year coming towards us like a fucking freight train. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say about that, because again, I'm reading early because I have an appointment at 5, and I have to leave for my appointment at 5, so I need to pull my life together. All right, so I'm only gonna read for about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna be up out of here. All right, and then the rest of the week, I'll just keep y'all posted on whether I'm gonna be reading live or whether it's gonna be something that you guys are watching live, but it's gonna be pre-recorded. Okay. So for those of you following along, for those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, we are continuing the read of Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. We're on chapter 7. which is page 260. And the title of the chapter is Breaking Out Volcanic Virtues. She gives us the definition from pyromachy or pyromachy, pyromachy, obsolete, fighting with fire, Oxford English Old Dictionary, pyromachy, fighting with fire and desire, Webster's first new intergalactic Wikidictionary of the English language. I still got to make a note that I need to get this book. She got 2 more books that I need to get that I just learned about the other day. So I need to put that on my list. Especially for this book, we need to get it sooner than later so we can start really going in on this whole new language she done wrote for women. Propelled by pyromantic passion into the vortices of pyrospheres, prudes encounter apparent paradoxes inherent in elemental powers. These are not the problems of political and institutional power of which the phallic ethicists drawn about, in which the phallic ethicists drawn about. These are not the problems of political and institutional power of which the phallic ethicists drawn, but rather the challenges experienced by women who find ourselves quickened by the new and ancient awareness of elemental rhythms, of harmonious connectedness in the concert of being. When a woman touches and tastes this harmony, the world becomes charged for her in amazing ways. Wits are sharpened, senses unmuddied. Woo! Senses unmuddied. The sense of synchronicity is activated. Come on, y'all now. Y'all up in here. Greetings, Letitia. Y'all up in here. Greetings, Contemple Healing. Y'all up in here? Listen. She say when a woman touches and tastes this harmony, the world becomes charged for her in amazing ways. Wits are sharpened, senses unmuddied. The sense of synchronicity is activated and recharged. Realizing this rhythmic concrescence, she experiences heightened hopes. Isn't that what we're saying? When I tell you stories like I did on Saturday about going out to the park after having a dream about my organization that I haven't been attached to in 12, 13 years, having a vivid dream about my organization, then getting up and feeling called to go to Leimert Park to find that organization that I haven't even seen anybody in 13 years, everybody in the organization was out in Leimert Park with no branches. That's the synchronicities, the paying attention of, the unmuddied and sharpened senses of all things. Ooh. Conversely, she tastes temptations to despair. For realizing harmony with the elemental world implies recognizing ever more accurately the disharmony of the Father's fabricated world. Come on up in here, Mary. Come on up in here, Mary. Child, I'm telling y'all, Mary is tickled right now. She up in here tickled. She is like, oh shit, these bitches done got a hold of the word. Understand? They done got a hold of the word. Mm-hmm. She was just waiting on somebody to pick up the book. I can't wait. It also involves experiencing the presence, in the sense of presence of absence, of these fabrications in the fibers of our own substance. Yes. Sorry. We just feel in our bones that something is wrong. These embedded physical and psychic pollutants inhibit knowing and spinning. Oliver Schreiner was expressing an acute awareness of this conflict many decades ago when she wrote, Olive Schreiner was expressing an acute awareness of this conflict many decades ago when she wrote, quote, "We are a race of women that of old knew no fear and feared no death, and lived great lives and hoped great hopes. And if today some of us have fallen on evil and degenerate times, there moves in us yet the throb of the old blood. Whoo, damn. Woo. Damn. The more distinctly a woman remembers the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women, and the more sure. Ooh, damn. Ooh. Let me ask y'all a question. Ooh, have y'all seen this video by Bjork? It's not new, but it's relatively new. It's old but new, but not old like old school Bjork, like her more radical, more extremely weird Bjork. Anyway, it is a video you should watch. This is a homework assignment. After we get off the call today, Google this video or YouTube this video by Bjork called Ancestress. I've posted it in the Facebook group before, but nobody really responded. I've shown it to many people, but it doesn't. I don't know if it's just me or if it's too eclectic for people, but that video I watched about 100 times, and every single solitary time I see that video, I am moved to tears. It's like something in my blood is responding. Something in my blood is weeping when I see this video. The name of the video, the name of the song is Ancestress. Ancestress. You got to watch this video, man. I just hear it in my head right now. And as soon as I read this first sentence, I was like, oh my God. It is the video is so familiarly old. So familiarly old. So, and she's talking about her actual grandmother as her ancestress. It's such a beautiful song. She is talking about, the song is about her grandmother who died and how she died and how she hated the doctors, but the doctors, you know, did this to her and did that to her, and how she was with her grandmother during her last days when she died. But the video, the content of the video is about her grandmother, right? But the video is a ritual. The whole video is the execution of an old ritual. It's beautiful. It's the singularly most beautiful. Easily the singularly most beautiful video I've ever seen. So deep and so I cry every time. Every time I watch it. 3 verses in, I'm sobbing. It's so good. It's so good. The more, and as soon as I read this sentence, I was like, oh my God, yeah, I got to go back and watch the video today. Ancestress by Bjork. The more distinctly a woman remembers the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women, and the more the more surely she senses the throb of the old blood, the more certainly she is forced to face the unnatural programmed reflexes that she has inherited as a woman in patriarchy. Listen. Ah, yes. Yes. The more distinctly a woman remembers the tidal rhythm of the race of women, and the more subtly she senses the throb of the old blood, the more certainly she is forced to face the unnatural programmed reflexes that she has inherited as a woman in patriarchy. The struggle to shed these horrid habits is urgently experienced by the pyronostic nags. Yes, my God. Yes. As we progress in power, as we progress in power, these these embeds become more obvious and more obviously alienating. Oh my God, yes. Let me tell y'all. Damn, I ain't got no time, but I want to tell y'all what happened today. I went today. Where did I go today? I went to the gym today. I made a commitment to actually use my gym membership. So I went to the gym today. And after I went to the gym, I went to the library, which was closed. I kind of had an attitude about it, but apparently I needed the drive. It's about 35, 40 minutes from my house. Just out of nowhere, leaving the library, driving home, I had this thought out of nowhere. But I was recalling our temple service yesterday, and I was recalling the discussion from our temple service about blood and blood rituals, and how and how all blood rituals have their origins, are all blood rituals as we know them are male attempts at recreating and experiencing the magic of the original blood rituals of menstruation and childbirth, and how what patriarchy has done as is birthed a seed of such serious envy and hatred of the power of women in men, in males, that the only way they see to tap into the magic and the mystery of blood magic, original blood magic, of life-giving blood rituals. Like, I'm just sitting here recalling how early in the Great Cosmic Weather, she was like, even the rituals that developed as a consequence of the hunt, men in small groups going out for weeks at a time to hunt meat, how they felt guilty about killing their brother and sister animals. And so they had to make ritual out of it as a way to reconcile, as a way to reconcile within their spirit the disharmony that killing these animals brought them. So even the rituals created in so-called traditional religions, traditional cultural religions that we practice as the only way to, quote, satiate the appetites of gods is to kill animals. So I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, I have to stop eating meat. Like, I can't even, like, that's these rituals. And then you hear about the meat producing industry and how horribly violent it is to these life sustaining animals, because that's supposedly what the process of eating meat is to do, is to sustain life. And while that might have been a necessary and real statement to our ancestors who were hunter-gatherers, it is no longer necessary. It is no longer a statement of fact that we need to consume flesh foods to sustain our lives. It's no longer a fact. So I thought about that today. I was like, damn, I really do. I can't keep wavering about it. I've gone through periods of vegetarianism and veganism, but more from just the strict health perspective. But I was like, it really is an ethical question, and I think my opposition to the ethical questions of vegetarianism have been because I have been so staunchly opposed to vegetarianism and veganism from the perspective and the worldview of the privileged class, and how they use vegetarianism and veganism to look down on the poor classes, like this kind of elitist way. I was just thinking today when I heard this interview with this dude who was an Israeli soldier who was basically putting on blast. He has been shunned by his community. He has been exiled from Israel because he quit the army and was like, fuck what you heard. Now I'm paraphrasing. Fuck what you heard. We are an occupying army that have no other intention but to terrorize daily the Palestinian people. That is the only, and we are conditioned to do it from childhood. We are conditioned to do it from childhood. Soldiers come to our schools. Soldiers come to our house. Soldiers come into our lives very early and big up the patriotism of being an Israeli soldier, and that's the only way to save Jewish people is to terrorize Palestinians. And he said, once I got in that shit fucked me up. That's what he said. He said that shit fucked me up. I could not reconcile how I loved children and I was teaching children, and to go into these communities, and every time I saw a little child, they ran away from me screaming. They were terrified of me. They were terrified of me. And I could not reconcile that in my spirit, to be able to kiss my daughter and my wife, or my children and my wife, before I leave home to go to somebody else's community, knowing that the assignment is to create as much terror and chaos in the lives of Palestinian people as I could on a daily basis. Right. And so I thought about him when he said that shit, yo. And that interview, I posted it on my Facebook page several times today. That shit moved me so much. It is the most brutally honest and unadulterated interview I've seen on the subject, on the issue so far. So far. He was like, fuck what you heard. Join the military like everybody does at 16. I was enthusiastically carrying out the will of my government. And when I got on the ground in the day-to-day interactions in the lives of Palestinians, I said, this is wrong. Everything I was ever taught by my grandmother, that's what he said, by my grandmother, by my grandfather, by my mother, by my father, everything I had ever been made to believe about Palestinian people, I knew was a lie when I got on the ground. That's what he said. That he said, once my vision became clear, I had no choice but to leave that shit, no matter what it meant. That's what he said. You understand? And that shit fucked me up, because the first thing I thought about was this rabid, bodacious, butt naked, white nationalist assault on indigenous people that we are witnessing in real time. How is there any debate? It is butt naked, vicious white nationalism in real time. It is exactly what happened to the natives of the Western Hemisphere, the Mexica, the Azteca, the Native American population in North America, in Canada. It is the same thing. It is the exact same thing that happened to Africans. It is the exact same thing that happened to Asian people when they made first contact with the white world in real time in 2023. And there is a debate. Not only is there a debate, we're constantly seeing videos and images and pictures and songs sung by these are white people. These are the descendants of Ashkenazi Jews, white European people, singing songs of praise, violent, vicious, making dances and caricatures of what it means to hold humans hostage, to laugh and joke and take so much pride in the brutalization of human beings. But this ain't new. I have seen videos for years. I've been doing pro-Palestinian work since 2000. I have seen videos of white people, fuck what their title is, of white people, the descendants of Europeans, sitting on mountainsides with lawn chairs and barbecue grills and fucking, coolers full of beer, getting a front row view seat of Israeli planned bombed assaults on Palestinians, cheering like they had a motherfucking football game. And the thing that I thought about, so random, but so connected to what we're talking about, is like, there are many, I'm sure millions among these Israelis who swear they're so super progressive because I'm a vegan. I've been vegan for 7 years. Hitler was a fucking vegan. Hitler was a vegan. Hitler saw that animals were sentient beings. This is a quote, by the way. Hitler believed that animals were sentient beings with spirits and souls, and he refused to eat meat as he massacred humans. And here we are, watching the brutalized become the brutalizer, almost to an extraordinary repetition. Because when this guy told his story about being a Israeli soldier, that shit struck me, because I spent many, many years researching the Nazi regime, the rise of the Third Reich, how that shit happened, what the general societal population and energy looked like in the turn of the century, the early 1900s up through the 1910s, before the rise of the Third Reich. How progressive Germany was, how Germany had an amazingly huge, one of the biggest and prolific gay rights movements at the turn of the century. And what gave rise to the Third Reich, how the soldiers were trained in the early stages of the Third Reich. Because what kind of human being can execute the kind of brutality that these men did? What kind of mentality gives rise to the women that were the wives of these men, knowing what they were doing and then welcoming them home to a hot meal after a long day's work, of putting people in ovens and experimenting on humans and terrorizing humans? What kind of teenagers can go to school and come home from school and their Nazi soldier, Third Reich general father says, "What'd you do at school today?" and blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, the child, the teenager, aware, knows that his father has spent the whole day brutalizing and terrorizing human beings, to turn around and the descendants of those human beings be engaged in the same motherfucking behavior verbatim, to read stories about the kind of training that these soldiers went through in the Third Reich, the kind of conditioning, the kind of cult-like brainwashing from childhood, cult-like training that gave rise to men and women and children who enthusiastically, who created whole cultural norms about the deserving of terror of these people. The deserving of terror of these people. To hear this man tell exactly the same story. This descendant of the abused, this descendant of the terrorized, tell exactly the same story of his life, of his childhood, of his culture. We sang songs, watching so-called Israeli women, death to you all, mimicking this in a video, death to you all, with so much hatred in her spirit, she seems consumed. An old woman, this wasn't a young girl, this woman had to be in her 70s. Death to you all, death to you all. So when we get Sister Mary up in here talking about how the only hope for the whole of for the whole of the planet is a global goddamn exorcism of patriarchy, that's what the fuck it means. That's what it looks. That's what it looks like. This day, man. I'm thinking about all the shit on my drive home from the library with an attitude because it was work. I wanted to do at the library and they was just closed for no reason, just closed. And so I was like, damn. And then out of nowhere, seemingly nowhere, I'm thinking about the service we did yesterday. How much, not just the service we did yesterday, but even what happened to me on Saturday. These crossings of the threads of time, these increasing synchronicities that she talks about once our minds are unmuddied and our wits are sharpened. Once we start to pull away the layers and layers, not just in our lifetime, the layers that we inherited from our mothers and our fathers, the layers that they inherited from their mothers and their fathers, years and years, 6,000 years of layers of patriarchal madness imposed on our motherfucking consciousness. And she's saying, even as we got 6,000 years of layers of this bullshit infecting our fucking blood, laying in our, she says it, laying dormant in our fibers, deep in the substance of our bodies. Because if it's in our blood, where our blood come from, where our blood is generated from, our bones, our marrow, deep, deep, deep within us, this shit. And even still, it does not take much for the old blood, for the, what is it? For the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women lay dormant in our old blood when we begin to sense the throb of the old blood. Huh? The throb, that's what she says, the throb of the old blood. Once some book comes into our cipher, seemingly out of nowhere, and says, this is what you need in this moment. When some woman crosses paths with you, and it seems like, quote, a coincidence. And even as she's saying something funny, Spirit is saying she is in your life for a reason. Listen. As the blood begins to purge this shit, baby, as the blood begins to purge this madness, what does she say? The throb of the old blood, the cries of the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women start kicking your fucking ass in your dreams, in your wake. Child, I'm minding my own motherfucking business with an attitude, driving home from a closed library, so I got to rearrange my whole motherfucking day. And out of nowhere, all these thoughts at one time in an instant come down on me. I remembered when Daly, when Barbara Moore talks about the ancestral significance. The ancestral significance. Oh, and you know what? Who else said it? Oh, Barbara Moore and Barbara Walker, because Barbara Walker started going off about the sacred secretions. About the sacred secretions of the woman's vagina and how it was seen as a heal all. Here, what did I say? I made the joke because it said that the sacred secretions of the woman was highly valued and known throughout the lands for its restorative properties. That the orgasmic secretions of a woman's vagina could heal blindness, child, and cure leprosy. So I'm thinking in the car, this is all in my drive home, y'all. I'm thinking, damn, what is it? What is the key denominator? Because now women are sick. Women are sexually sick. Women are sexually sick. We are more predisposed, women, to STDs than males are by virtue of anatomy. So why is it our sacred secretions can't heal ourselves? I said, what is What is the secret? What is the key ingredient? And it is our misery that has made our previously healing secretions toxic. Why? Why would I say this? Because we are carrying around tumors and fibroids and cysts and clots and painful periods. What is it that Barbara Walker said? That many do not understand because of what? Sexual taboos. That intercourse during menstruation is one of the best ways to heal what ails women that we call PMS. But because the sexual taboos are so strong against menstruation, that it is rare for women to be able to seek the release needed during their menstruation through sexual intercourse, which is actually ancient blood ritual. I said, damn. I said, so is it because our emotions have our deep, deep, visceral emotions have turned what used to heal humans into something that works against us now? Right? So I'm like, damn. Because y'all remember I made the joke where she was talking about how the sexual secretions, meaning the orgasmic ejaculate of women, could heal leprosy and cure blindness and shit. This ain't my opinion. This was in the book. This is what the book say. You feel me? I was like, yeah. So listen, next time, stop being a punk and let a bitch come in your eye. You understand? I made the little comment, like let a bitch come in your eye. See what happened, right? But sex itself has become something that is not sacred. It's not sacred. Remember I told you how the priest in the temples of Sekhmet used to heal humans by them coming and making offering at the feet of the goddess and then sitting upright in lotus position in front of the priests of the temple, the female priests of the goddess, while she lay on her back and stroked her clitoris while chanting incantations, prayers on behalf of the petitioner. And what they were required to do was stare into the universe, her vagina, stare into her uterus, stare into her vagina as she climaxed while chanting incantations to the goddess on their behalf. I'm thinking about all this in a 30-minute drive home. You understand? All of it. Everything I just told you. Those were my thoughts. This weekend, the temple service, this Saturday, that thing that happened in Lamert Park that peeled my fucking wig back, y'all. The seizure of power. I'm gonna do another live. I'm gonna call that live the importance of naming and renaming everything, part 2, because that's what I did on Saturday, was part 1. But it had me thinking about why I've thought about it before, but this is what concretized it. Why we as women take men's last names within the contract of marriage, and how we forget our mothers when we do that. We forget their names. I don't know any of my ancestral mothers' last names. I don't. I know my father's ancestral last names. I know all of my father's ancestral last names, both sides of my family. We do not know who was the beginning mother of us all in our particular bloodlines. What was her, quote, maiden name? The importance of naming and renaming everything. And I'll tell y'all a story on Saturday about the closing out, the conclusion of a chapter that I started years ago with transitioning away from my African name and taking back the name that my mother gave me in birth, and hearing the retrieval of the power that I gave to this African who gave me my name. Hearing in his voice the frustration when I said, no, it's not Iyapo anymore, it's Cassandra. Oh, okay. The importance of naming and renaming everything. Redefining all phenomena. This man that I watched in this interview today, this former Israeli soldier turned ally, exiled ally to Palestinian people, saying, I don't give a fuck what y'all heard, what y'all see on TV. I know what it is. I was raised in Israel. I was born in Israel. I was a soldier in Israel when I was 2, because that's the conditioning that happens through our entire lives that allows us to become enthusiastic perpetrators of terrorism. He renamed himself in that moment. Do you see? He regained power over his consciousness in this transition from former self to new self, from old self to evolved self. He said, I believed everything my grandparents told me. I accepted without question. All I wanted to do was to make my family proud, was to keep my family safe. And when I learned the truth myself, through things I conducted against innocent human beings, I had a choice to make. I had to evolve. I had to rename myself. That's what he did. He renamed himself. Happiness. What does this have to do with the female ejaculate? What does this have to do with the female magical powers of orgasmic ecstasy in service to the goddess? It is all connected. It is all connected. To say that women are going to change the world, to say that our only job when we incarnate as women is to change the world. That's our only job. It is our only assignment. That anyone that incarnates male, and I'm talking about biological identifiers, period. I'm not talking about gender constructs and identifiers. I'm talking about the moment that we are born, whoever we are, male or female, before we have an understanding of who we may be in terms of gender. When we are born, we have one assignment. All of us have one assignment. It is to change the world. It is to play our peculiar role in the evolutionary process that is always emerging as we live, as our peculiar expression in this life, to make the world better than what we left it. That's everybody's assignment. For those of us born female in this incarnation, our job, our assignment is to completely reconstruct the entire shit. The whole motherfucking thing. Nothing survive from the old age. All of it's got to motherfucking go. That's the work that we have to do. As men, let me correct that statement. As males who incarnate in this life, you have one assignment. Only one. That is all. Don't care what your cultural background is. Don't care what your religious beliefs are. Don't care how you was raised. You have one assignment. To support and execute the radical transformation of the world through the enthusiastic, willful compliance to the mother. That's all. That's it. That's all. Take all the noise out the way. Take all your political understanding out the way. Take all your cultural, traditional norms out the way. That's the assignment. The enthusiastic, willful, ecstatic execution of the mother's will in real time. Who is the mother? We fucking are. We are the mother. The mother. We are. So, those of us who have been doing our own personal healing work, those of us who have been engaged for any significant period of time of deconstructing these 6,000 years of conditioning and infection of patriarchal fucking malignancy, whose blood, has been invigorated by the throb of the old blood, who has been charged and moved by the tidal rhythms of the race of women. This is the assignment. This is the job. Hold on one second. This is the assignment. This is our only work. And to create a process for those out there, the many who have not started this work, who have not started the deconstruction, who have not yet been moved by the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women, who do not yet feel or sense the throb of the old blood within themselves. The work is for us to assist in that, not to condemn, not to belittle, not to humiliate. Why don't you understand this yet? Why ain't you there yet? None of that. It is not to do that. It is to perpetually plant seeds in those that have been made blind, those who are suffering from the same 6,000 years of conditioning that we suffered from. That just yesterday we was backwards as the day is long. Just yesterday we didn't know a motherfucking thing about the moon and the rhythms and our relationship to the earth. We didn't know nothing about frequency and the power of our throat to make real in the world, to create a material force from seeming abstraction. We didn't know nothing about that just yesterday. We was backward as the day is long just yesterday. So we have to have enough empathy and enough vision of the future that in real time we can perpetually plant seeds that awakens the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women, that begins to stimulate the throb of the old blood. The mother will do the work. All we have to do is be open to her intervention in our life. We have to be open to her intervention in our life. We have to be able to see when she puts something before us that is to feed our soul. We have to be able to hear whenever something strikes at the heart of us that may not make sense yet. Why are y'all all here? Why y'all keep tuning into me? I ain't got no fancy shit on my screen. You feel me? I ain't got no like little videos I'm playing off to the side, a little cute like little, word things popping up on the screen. For the last 3.5 years, it's been me. Sometimes my hair did, sometimes not. Sometimes I got makeup on, sometimes I don't. You understand? Sometimes I done changed clothes from the day before. Sometimes I have not. It's just been me yakking at y'all for 3 years. Reading books to you. You understand what I'm saying? Cracking jokes, cussing like a sailor for 3.5 years, almost 4 years now. Why do you return? Why do you come back? Why do you lay on these videos with me? Our temple service yesterday was 3 hours long. And do you know there was almost 100 people for the whole ride, for the whole walk? I was like, man, I lost everybody. I'd have lost about to bored y'all to death. Why are you here? Why do you return? Because in the sea of information and opinions, and there are no shortage, 100 million content creators on YouTube with fabulous content, fabulous videos, very professional, that y'all could be watching. Why do you return here? Why would you sit with me for 3 hours on a Sunday when you could be doing anything to listen to me talk to you about the mother? To communicate to you what I've received in ceremony as a mission that is possible for all of us. Every last one of us have the ability to show up and change the world. Every single one of us. To know it so, to not believe it, to know it in my blood, to know that the moment that we are in right now as adult, conscious, thinking human beings is really a gift. It is a gift to be alive right now, conscious, thinking, hearing, feeling. It's a gift because we have all been charged with the same task, baby. Our assignment is the same. Our destinies are linked. Our destinies are linked. I say it all the time. They may manifest themselves in 8 billion peculiar ways, our destiny. It might be that the way the mother speaks through you as an instrument, which you are. You are her. You are a part of her. You are one with her. You are her very peculiar and necessary, beautiful personification of herself. So when you make music, when you paint a mural, when you dance, and someone is struck in the heart by that which you have done, they are responding to your peculiar expression of the mother in real time. She is speaking through you all the time. Our art is her breath. Our art is her movement. Our art is her attempt to win us back to her, to make clear in a sea of madness that she is with us and has never left, that we are not alone in the world, that she is always with us. She is always with us. That there is not, listen to me about your mama. There is nothing that you need to do or perform to win her favor. She said yes to your life, and for that reason alone, she chose you. I love you. This is the evidence of it. I want you not only to live, I want your living to be happiness and ecstatic and erotic and pleasurable. I want you to experience the love that I felt in my blood and in my bones and in my body when I said yes to your life. When I allowed you to be born through me, the love and the ecstasy and the magic of the moment. What did Ruth say? My mouth is enlarged over my enemies. I have never felt the rush and the quickening that I feel now when I am born as mother by giving birth to the one that petitioned me. Unlike your aloof, faceless, ridiculously evil father who just loves brigandage and war and shit and wants you to do all this crazy shit to prove your allegiance to him. You want to fast, you got to pray, you got to not have sex for 100 years, you got to do all this terrible shit. You have to suffer to prove that you love God. You have to suffer. That's what the Bible's saying. You got to carry your cross to show me that you love me. You got to suffer. What the Bible say? It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter into the gates of heaven. I want you to suffer. That's how you prove how much you love me. I want you to be a slave. Slaves, worship your master, obey your masters so that your life will be well in the afterlife. Your mother has not asked you, she ain't asked you none of that shit. She ain't asked of you none of that madness. She says, baby, the way that you worship me is get the fuck up off your knees. Raise your eyes to the sky. Hold your hands up in dance while moving your hips, while making love to your partner, while hugging your children, while playing for no other reason than just to enjoy that which I have given freely. The only way I want you to worship me is in ecstasy, in bliss, in happiness, unimaginable. I'm not interested in anything else. I'm a mama. I don't want to see my babies crying. I don't want to see my babies' feelings hurt. It hurts me when my babies are hurt. It hurts me when my babies are sad, especially when I feel like there's nothing that I can do to remedy that. You know how it is when you got a little baby and you're doing everything. You're like, baby, what you need? I don't understand. I done changed the diaper. I done fed you. I done birthed you, baby. What's wrong? I'm hurt when my baby is hurt. I am sad when my baby is sad. The only thing I am interested in that moment is how to make my baby happy. And the mother gives us that all the time. She's like, damn, you ungrateful motherfuckers. I gave y'all everything. I give y'all free air, free food, that that your father God make you pay for, but I gave it to you for free. You feel me? You don't have to buy drugs to experience my face. All you got to do is have sex. Wonderful, reciprocal, beautiful love making that is centered in love just because you exist. Not because we booze, not because we partners, because this is even love that should exist between strangers. When Barbara Walker talks yesterday about one of the greatest gifts to women at that time who had sexual sovereignty was to be able to make love to a stranger in the temples of the goddess. This was the way that she and he were able to see the face of the god in real time, was through sexual union and orgasmic ecstasy. This is how you sought the face of the mother. She's like, bitch, I gave y'all all the clues. I just want y'all bitches to be happy. All the time, that's all I want. That's how you worship me. I want y'all to be happy. And y'all do everything but. Y'all do everything but because this bullshit ass mythological father god that convinced you that suffering is your lot in life. That everything I gave to you for free, you must pay for. You must earn love. You must earn the right to live. You must earn joy. You must earn happiness. And your proximity to your ability to earn those things is what will guarantee you, quote, happiness. If you can't pay for those things, then you can't have those things. Happiness, love, respect, honor. That's what we teach ourselves. Is that the only way a motherfucker can respect you is your proximity to wealth and abundance. That those are the only people entitled to recognition, adoration, huh? This is not even what I wanted to talk to y'all about. I just came up in here, you feel me, to talk, to read a little to y'all before I have to work, you feel me? But when I tell you this little passage here, this shit touched me to my soul. When she says, we are a race of women that of old knew no fear and feared no death and lived great lives and hoped great hopes. And if today some of us have fallen on evil and degenerate times, there moves in us yet the throb of the old blood. The more distinctly a woman remembers the tidal rhythms of the forgotten race of women, and the more surely she senses the throb of the old blood, the more certainly she is forced to face the unnatural programmed reflexes that she has inherited as a woman in patriarchy. Baby, so we only read 3 paragraphs today because she was on me. You feel me? So y'all go to my Facebook page, Cassandra Faye Floyd, because I now really, it's crunch time now. Go to my Facebook page, Cassandra Faye Floyd, and look on my main thread, because I posted that video with the brother who was the former Israeli soldier. That shit is powerful, and it was right on time today. It moved me. So I've been really trying to sidestep letting so much of that the talk about what's happening in the Middle East get into my consciousness. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to bear right now. And they're doing it in such a gruesome and pornographic way, you know, and that shit is to demoralize human beings. I'm not saying that we should not know what is happening in Palestine, but the only thing that they are showing is the bodies of Palestinian children and women and men. That is snuff film shit. It's no different than what happened on slave plantations when they would brutalize Black people for trying to run away in front of the group to ensure that nobody else resisted, that nobody else rebelled, that nobody else ran. The kind of gruesome ass terroristic shit they did in a sea of hundreds, torturing and brutalizing human beings to terrify anybody else from standing on the right side of the question, from showing up in the right way. And so I've had to be very mindful of what I allow into my cipher, being aware, not being a bypasser, being aware, but also protecting my spirit while we do the work it is we're charged to do. You understand? So this video that this brother posted today, it moved me. It moved me. And he wasn't going off. He was very calm. He was very succinct. He was very clear. I am clear that brainwashing was what happened to me. I am clear that brainwashing is what is happening to all Israeli people living in Israel. No different than the brainwashing that occurred under the Third Reich that had us in the situation that we in the first place. And it was my responsibility that once my spirit spoke to me and said, what I am doing is not right, that even if it meant exile from the land I was born in, that I had to do the right thing. So he's been exiled from Israel since he came forward in his opposition to the Israeli state and the crimes and terroristic behavior of the Israeli state. He's like, it don't matter. My spirit wouldn't allow me. My spirit wouldn't allow me. My spirit wouldn't allow me to do anything other than what I did. So go onto my Facebook page, check that video out. If you're interested in it and can't find it, just let me know. Email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I'll email you the link. If you are interested in participating in the Zoom workshop, the Zoom meeting tomorrow for the building of the first event of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Make sure you put event committee in the subject header. If you are interested in participating in the book club study that we're going to start on Wednesday for Pure Lust, email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. Make sure you put book club in the subject header. I'm telling you, because a lot of shit has been getting lost in spam. So please put a subject header in the subject header. And also you can make contributions and donations to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence. For those of you tuning in via Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, you can see that information scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So I'll leave this up a little while longer. That's PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, and Cashapp. For those of you who are tuning in via IG, I still have to figure out a way to show you by demonstration how you can make a contribution. But in the meantime, if you would like to contribute to the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, find out more about what the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence is, please email me at releaseheartcenter@gmail.com. I will respond before the end of the evening. I do have to go. I got to go to work now. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for allowing me to vent for a little bit. And I'll see you guys tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the continued reading of Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. Pure Lust, Elemental Feminist Philosophy by Mary Daly. My name is Cassandra Faye Floyd, also known as the Daughter of the Fates, founder of the Temple of Evolutionary Emergence, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Y'all have a good night. Be bountiful, be blessed, be prosperous, all aligned with justice. Peace.